Hello and welcome back to Seaside Garage. A lot of stuff has happened on the Lada. I'm getting ready to bleed the brakes tonight, I hope. I still need to assemble a couple of things and change a couple of things. The entire braking system is going to be overhauled when we're done with it. Let me show you something that I really enjoy on the Niva. These are the rear brake shoes. Maybe you can see it. They are identical. So if you have one, you have the right one. There is no front or rear or left and right. Really nice. The brake pads for the front is the same story. It's just the same. It's brilliant. I really like that kind of design where it doesn't really matter if you only have one, and it just means one part number less than on many other models, so that's great. The brake caliper assembly though is a bit different than what I normally see, because this is what holds the brake pads. Then this is supposed to go like that, and then this one holds it all together. It's a bit different, to say the least. I have another one of these on its way, but I need to fit all together right now, so I'm going to change this later on, because this has snapped a piece of metal off there and off there. And actually those ledges is going to see quite a lot of pressure, so I don't really like it. Maybe it's overreacting, but I'm going to change this later on. But for now, it will work fine to at least get the system up and running. You have a hole right here that needs to align with this one to lock it in place. And then we can install the brake pads and take a look at them. They are painted red. It seems like someone misunderstood something. You're supposed to paint the brake caliper red, not the brake pads. But anyway, installing them are very easy. I actually like the brake setup. And remember, this is a brake caliper from the 70s. Pretty smart. There are small springs in here. You can just take the brake caliper and shove it into there. And then this one on top of there. And yes, I need to find a right split pin for this, but it's on its way. For now, this will have to do. And there we go. And working on this, I remember when I worked on the Volvo 242 a couple of years back. I was really impressed to see the brake setup on the Volvo, because it had two brake lines and twin pistons and seemed really modern of its time. But take a look at this. This is from 1978. It is a Lada. It is often mocked for being a very crude car, and really it is. But on the other hand, there are some stuff that are pretty modern on this car. This was the first 4x4 with a monocoque chassis. This brake setup is also pretty complicated and impressive. It got 3 pistons, dual lines, and the lines are interconnected. It's pretty clever. So I just ripped the old hoses out and cut the lines, because we're going to change the lines as well. Next up, we need to get into the engine bay. So next up, I'm going to take the brake master off and swap that over with a new one. I think a lot of this that I decided to do was a bit silly, because everything seems to be in rather good condition. I think It's not been that long ago that this car was actually taken care of, but now we're doing it. I got a question the other day about how I got the time to do all this, because if you're working on classic cars and stuff like this and have a normal life and all that, you will know it's hard to find the time. Well, it's hard to prioritize the time to do this kind of stuff. And I'm very lucky about that, because I got the possibility to prioritize this a lot. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One is that I found out quite early in my life that this kind of stuff is what recharges me. I love being in the garage. I love working on stuff, and it is very much a mental hygiene for me to be out here working. And it's not about the result, not at all. Of course, it's nice when the cars turn out nice and works and all that, but it's the process of being out here thinking, doing stuff. So why do I have all this time? It's because I prioritized, together with my wife, of course, you have to be agreeing on that sort of stuff, that we are living a pretty simple life, a pretty cheap life, not at all a poor life, not at all, but we do prioritize free time a lot. So for the last few years, I have been working only 24 hours per week, which is wonderful. I really like that. That's the way it's supposed to be, in my opinion. But unfortunately, due to the current situation in the world with the war in Ukraine and the consequences of the COVID pandemic, I actually lost my job a couple of weeks back. So right now, I have so much time in the garage, and that's wonderful. I actually have all the time I want in the garage, but no money. So it's not going to last forever. I really enjoy just waking up and then go to the garage and, of course, making all these videos for you guys, because it feels really nice to know that a lot of you actually gets inspired to work on your own cars. So even though this is just entertainment, it's still having an impact on some of you, and that's really nice. Really proud about that, actually. So I don't really know what the future brings for me, because of course I need another job, and I really hope I'm going to be able to find one that gives me the time to do all this kind of stuff. And actually I'm considering trying to make a living out of not this, because being a YouTuber is not the best business in the world. When you look at the income, it's really nice to be able to make all these videos and have all the great communication with you guys, but it's not going to bring a lot of income. But I would like to make a living out of working on old cars, and I hope to be able to do that in the future. So that's the reason why I have this much time. I have prioritized it, and right now I really have a lot of time, which is great. There we go, it should be loose now. That's the old brake master out. And here we have a brand spanking new one. This is a really fun experience for me to just swap parts like this. And also, I really don't know the history of this car, and I was suspecting it to be neglected actually. But as it turns out, it seems to be rather cared for. It just doesn't look that way. So I was a bit fooled by that. But I actually think people really cared for this car. And a lot of the parts were a lot newer than they look like, I think. Now I'm actually just going to go ahead and change all the brake lines, because, yeah, I bought new ones, and most of them are actually fairly all right. So I'm going to keep some of them, but all the ones that goes to the wheel are rusted in the end, so I'm going to change them. I'll do that and take you back. I just got the rear drum off. That was really difficult. It is supposed to have a couple of threaded holes that you can put a 13mm through and push on the back plate to push it off threads on this one was stripped out. So I really had to be quite violent with it to get it off. And this is not a normal drum brake. As you can see, I'm not that strong, but this is an aluminum brake drum, which is quite surprising. Once again, it's a Lada Niva, known to be a crude car, but this is pretty modern. I don't even know if cars drive with that today, but I've never seen it for sure. Has really been leaking for a long time back here. It actually almost looked like that thick undercoating that I have everywhere on this car on the panels. But it's not a very good idea to rust protect your drums on the inside. I hate drum brakes. Well, not really, but I hate the springs on drum brakes. They are so difficult to work on. Take a look at the crap on this liner. No brake force. There's no brake force in this one. That's really crappy. I need to clean it all up and change everything inside of here. But it's not rusty, at least. Maybe because of all that crap. It's in really good condition underneath all this stuff. And then let's go ahead and change the cylinder in here. And a new one. And let's fit the new shoes. And then I'm going to change the, I need these springy things on. And then I need to change the line. So the brakes should be complete now, and I just need to bleed them. And if there are no leaks, then they should be good to go. Let's try that. And I actually forgot to bench bleed the master cylinder, so this could end up being a bit difficult. But very often it works with the method that I'm going to use. And then we're going to put pressure on the system. I'm not going to go higher than that. Let's go to the wheel farthest from the brake master. And this is just the normal bleeding procedure on normal cars. It's not necessarily the right thing on the Niva, but I'm going to try it out now and see if it works. And if it works, it works. There we have it. No air. Let's go to the other wheel on the other side and do the same. I just refilled the reservoir just to make sure that it doesn't go dry. There we go. It's going really easy. Like that. That was one of them. There we go. It's really going easy. Even though I didn't bench bleed that master, so that's nice. Let's go to the last one. Cracking open the bleed screw. Like that. And no bubbles. And the lower one. So that's all of them. The brakes are now bled and should be working. I can't test them before I got the car back on the ground, but another huge step. I know these videos are a bit more rushed than usual, but I really want this car on the road, and I promise I will resume to the more slow-paced business when this is done. But either way, thank you for watching and see you in the next one.